Well, well, well.
This is the first video I ever made. Now, in many ways, this video was absolutely horrible. The audio is awful. The tempo of the editing doesn't fit the scene, and it is pretty much what you'd expect coming from a middle schooler's first attempt at creating a film from start to finish. However, the topic of lighting, sound, and cinematography were unbeknownst to me at the time. But I did have a reason for this video, as I do all of them, whether it's to learn a new effect or try out a stunt. This could have been just a thank you video, as it was intended to be, with me standing in front of a tripod, just speaking. But I decided to take it quite a few steps further by making this video for the purpose of seeing what I can do. Testing my strength, if you will. You could call this a field test of my ability to translate, or how well I can put what I'm thinking into a film. A filmmaker's talent doesn't just lie in his or her own creative ability, so much as it involves their ability to get an audience to feel what they felt when the concept was first being drawn up. At that time, I just wanted people to go, "Oh crap, the world blew up, and where'd that train come from?" Squeezing out a few laughs here and there. But even besides that, there are smaller things that I was just trying out. Take this shot, for example. Just a reaction. But it's a reaction that's filmed in a specific way. It's quick, but slows down the tempo a hair, so that the audience also has time to think, "Oh shoot, I have a vulnerable spot. Does he notice?" You see, at this point, in the first video I ever made, I'm testing that camera movement. But if we take a look at my most recent video, it's come a long way. In fact, I can compare my most recent video, Subtext, to the first video I ever made, 7 Ways to Sunday. But the one thing I want to focus on is how I got there. Since that first video, I continued to make solo videos to hone in my editing abilities. And then I was given a copy of After Effects, which I could and still can't stop using. I immediately started testing effects, learning tracking, compositing, and eventually began creating my own effects. Once I believed I was good enough at compositing and learning the softwares, I started getting to the process of blending and other fundamentals that I'd skipped over or hadn't fully grasped. Actually taking time for pre-production rather than just heading out with a camera and a tripod and making it up as I went. I familiarized myself with well-rounded 3-step processes like beginnings, middles, and ends. I had taken a few week-long summer classes at UGA and SCAD to at least get some idea of the professional way to make a video. This helped reinforce and realign my learning path so that I knew what I was doing was the right thing. And starting with the Reflections video, you begin to see the culmination of my VFX experience paired with the beginning, middle, and end tactic, which I like to refer to as the point A, B, C process. Calling them points so that I can make sure there is a clear structure of events that leads from one point to another. You can also see this in the Aries video, where point A is the wake-up call to the interview, point B is the flashback, and point C is the punchline.
Brutally honest.
And of course, in Subtext, I use the same point ABC process to choreograph the fight. I had successfully reached the point where I could be picky. I had basically created the space enough for me to invest in equipment and really dial down in specific things like lighting, sound, and cinematography. Almost every sound in Subtext was made by me, veering off from the stock sound effects I had stored in my library. I even did a stellar job with ADR, which, when done correctly, no one notices.
This is my new shirt. This is my game day shirt.
That's right, that was ADR. I am currently producing a documentary for a school musical, which will really put my lighting and cinematography skills to the test. Yes, I can look back and say, man, that video was actually terrible. But when I look in between now and then, I see growth. The saying goes, there's always room for improvement. And well, that's all I've been doing. Learning effects, how to animate, voice acting, motion graphics, green screen, making scores, performing stunts, learning comedy, and most importantly, learning how to stay true to myself. Thank you.